The door that changed everything. The space station was always full of noise. Aliens of every shape and size moving through long halls. Machines humming. Strange voices echoing. It was a place where humans were rare and often ignored. The young human man walked carefully, keeping his head down. He was used to being invisible here. He worked simple jobs, carrying crates, repairing broken panels, nothing special, nothing heroic. He only wanted to survive quietly among the stars. But fate sometimes hides in small actions. That day the hall was crowded. A group of alien soldiers marched through, tall and armored, their glowing eyes scanning everyone. In the middle of the hall, a heavy door made of dark metal stood shut. It was massive, designed for alien strength. Not for human hands, the human reached the door first, and out of habit he pulled it open, his muscles straining, but he managed. The door swung wide with a loud echo. Behind him, footsteps stopped. He turned his head slightly and saw her. She was not like the others. Her skin was pale silver, her eyes deep blue with a light that shimmered like a living flame. Her long dark hair flowed behind her as guards surrounded her. She wore armor marked with strange patterns, a sign of royalty. The alien girl was clearly someone important. Their eyes met for a brief moment. He smiled politely, something humans did without thinking. Then he stepped aside, holding the door open, just like he had done 1,000 times back on Earth. To him, it was nothing, just good manners, but to her it was everything. The hall grew silent. Aliens froze, their voices cut off as if air itself had been stolen. The guards tensed, looking from the human to the girl in shock. She did not move at first, her expression unreadable. Then slowly, she walked past him. Her eyes locked on his face the whole time, her lips parted slightly, whispering something in her own tongue, a word the human could not understand. Her guards exchanged nervous glances. One even lowered his head. The human felt a strange chill, as if he had broken some rule he did not know. He quickly pulled back his hand, letting the door close behind her. He thought it was finished, just another passing moment. But the alien girl did not walk away. She stopped a few steps ahead, turned her head and looked back at him. There was intensity in her eyes, something almost dangerous. He felt his heart beat faster, not from attraction but from fear. The crowd began to whisper, their alien tongues buzzing like static. Everyone seemed to know something he did not. He wanted to escape, to disappear into the background as always. But it was too late. The girl spoke again, this time in broken human language, her voice low but sharp. "You opened the door," she said slowly. "You..." "Chosen." The human blinked, confused. "I was just being polite," he muttered, his voice uncertain. Her guards immediately stepped closer, their weapons glowing faintly. One of them hissed at him in anger. But the girl raised her hand, stopping them. "No," she said firmly, her eyes never leaving his. "He showed worth." His stomach tightened. He had no idea what she meant, worth. Chosen? This was madness. He had only opened a door, nothing more. But the way she looked at him made him realize this was not simple at all. She whispered again, a word he still could not understand, and her guards bowed slightly. As if obeying a command, the human's legs felt weak. The weight of dozens of alien eyes pressed against him. His skin crawled. He tried to step back, but the girl's gaze held him in place. She tilted her head, studying him, and then she smiled. Not with warmth, but with something deeper. A decision made in her heart. "You will come," she said softly. The human shook his head, panic rising. "No, I can't, I didn't mean," but before he could finish, the station alarm echoed faintly. Not for danger, but for attention. The girl's personal guards activated a signal, calling others. The hallway filled with tension, and in that moment the human realized he had done something no alien expected. He had crossed into their traditions without even knowing. To him it was just opening a door like a gentleman. To her it was something sacred, a sign, a choice. He felt trapped, as if destiny itself had grabbed him by the hand, and the stares of the aliens around him told him one thing clearly. His life as a quiet human worker was over. Something had begun and there was no going back. Her strange demand, the human could not sleep that night. His small room on the station felt tighter than ever. Shadows stretched across the walls. Every sound in the corridor outside made him flinch. He told himself it was nothing, that the alien girl would forget about him by morning, that maybe he had only misunderstood her strange words, but deep inside a fear burned. A fear he could not name. When morning came, he stepped out carefully, trying to blend into the flow of the crowd, but the crowd did not feel the same anymore. Aliens looked at him differently now, some with curiosity, some with disgust, others with open fear. Whispers followed him. The chosen human. He caught that phrase again and again in different tongues. His hands trembled as he carried tools to his work area. His only thought was to finish quickly, keep his head down and maybe escape this madness. But escape was already impossible. A shadow fell across his path, and when he looked up, he froze. She was there, the alien girl surrounded by her guards. Her presence made the air heavy. Her glowing eyes locked on him instantly. The other workers bowed or hurried away. No one dared to even look directly at her, but she ignored them all, stepping closer. The human's chest tightened, he whispered nervously. Why? Why are you following me? Her lips curved into a strange smile, both gentle and terrifying. She spoke in her broken human tongue. Every word heavy. Door. Open, heart. Open, fate. Sealed. He shook his head. No, you don't understand. It was nothing. But her eyes sharpened and she spoke louder so all could hear. You are mine. The words hit him like a strike. The guard stiffened. The crowd gasped. Whispers exploded like fire through dry leaves. His knees weakened, his voice broke. What? No, I can't. I didn't mean. She raised her hand, silencing him instantly. Her gaze fierce now. No softness left. Our law, she said slowly. The one who shows honor becomes bond, becomes mate. The human felt the world tilt, his stomach twisted. Mate? No, that's insane, one of her guards hissed, stepping forward. You insult tradition. But again she stopped them with a gesture. She leaned closer, her voice soft enough only he could hear. I waited long. No alien showed kindness, only power, only pride. Then you, small human. You did what no warrior could, you humbled yourself. He shook his head in panic. I didn't mean to, it's just manners, it's nothing sacred, her eyes glowed brighter. To you, nothing. To us, everything. The human backed away, but the guards closed around him. The walls felt like they were pressing in. Every alien in the corridor stared at him, waiting to see what he would do. Listen, he whispered, trying to reason. I can't be what you want, I'm not strong. I'm not. But before he could finish, she pressed her hand against his chest. Over his heart, her touch cold but firm. You are already chosen, she said. Now you prove. Those last words cut deep. He realized this was no simple demand. This was the start of something far larger. The alarms of the station rang suddenly, a deep call echoing through the halls, not of danger but of ceremony. The girls' guards activated the signal again, summoning witnesses, summoning authority. The crowd parted as figures in heavy robes approached. The council elders, their faces carved with lines of wisdom and suspicion. They looked at the girl, then at the trembling human. Princess, one elder said, his voice like gravel. You cannot bind yourself to a human. It is forbidden. Her eyes flashed with defiance. Forbidden, or feared. The elder's gaze darkened. Humans are weak. They do not belong in the blood of our houses, but she stepped closer to the human, almost pressing her forehead against his. Her voice rising like a storm. Then let him prove. The elders stared at her. The guards muttered, the crowd buzzed. The human felt the weight of 1,000 eyes. And then the elder spoke again, his tone sharp. Very well. He will prove or he will die. The human's blood froze. His heart hammered. He wanted to scream, to run, but his legs were locked. The girl smiled faintly, almost tenderly, and whispered, Do not fear, I saw strength in you, more than any alien. But her words did not calm him. They only added more fire to his terror, because he knew now there was no way back, no way out. His simple act of opening a door had thrown him into a trial that could either make him something greater than human, or end him before anyone even remembered his name. The human test. The Hall of Judgment was vast and silent, its black stone walls carved with alien runes that glowed faintly in the dim light. The human stood in the center, surrounded by guards, his hand shaking though he tried to hide it. Before him, the council elders sat on raised thrones, their eyes sharp and cold. Above them, the alien princess stood proud, her silver skin catching the light like steel, her gaze locked on him. The law is clear, one elder said, his deep voice echoing. A bond cannot be claimed unless proven in trial. The human swallowed hard. Trial? What kind of trial? Another elder leaned forward, his mouth curling into something close to a smile. The trial of survival. You will be placed on the moon of Korath. If you endure the night, you live. If you fail, you die. The human's chest tightened. Korath was infamous even among aliens, a barren moon of storms and beasts. No human had ever set foot there. This is madness, he whispered. But his words were swallowed by the vast hall. The princess raised her chin, her voice sharp. He will not fail. I choose him. The council erupted in anger, voices rising. You endanger our bloodline. Our honor, but she did not move. Her eyes fierce. Honor is already broken. Only he restored it. Before the human could speak, guards seized him, dragging him out. His heart thundered, his thoughts screaming. He had only opened a door. How had it come to this? Hours later, the human stood at the edge of a landing platform, the moon Korath visible beyond the glass. A swirling wasteland of dark clouds and lightning, creatures' roars faint even from orbit. One guard shoved a pack into his hands. Inside were only basic supplies. Water, a blade, a torch, nothing else. The princess approached him before the shuttle opened, her eyes softer now. Fear is normal, but remember, it is not strength alone that wins, it is heart. He stared at her, trembling. I'm just a worker, not a warrior. Her lips curved faintly. That is why you will survive. The words confused him. But before he could reply, the shuttle doors closed, and he was thrown into the storm. The surface of Korath was a nightmare. The sky burned with constant lightning. Winds howled like screaming beasts. The ground was sharp rock and shifting sand. The human stumbled out, clutching the pack, his breath ragged. Every instinct told him to hide, but there was no place safe. Suddenly, a roar shook the ground. From the shadows emerged a creature, taller than any human, its body armored with scales. Its claws dripping with venom, its eyes glowing red. The human froze, his legs weak. The blade in his hand felt useless. The beast lunged, he rolled aside just in time. The claws smashed stone where he had stood, shards cutting into his skin. Pain flared, but fear drove him forward. He ran, his lungs burning. The storm lashing his face, the beast followed. Its roars shaking the air, his mind screamed. You can't fight it, you'll die, but another voice whispered. You survived before, you always find a way. He spotted a narrow canyon ahead, its walls jagged. He dove inside. The beast slammed against the entrance, too large to follow. Its roars shaking the rocks loose, panting, bleeding. The human leaned against the wall, whispering, I'm still alive. But the night was long, and this was only the beginning. As the storm deepened, he stumbled through the canyon, lightning flashing above, revealing more shadows moving. Smaller beasts with sharp teeth crawled along the walls. Hissing, he gripped the torch, lighting it. Fire danced in the wind. The beast shrieked, pulling back, afraid of the flame. His heart pounded. His fear turned slowly into something else. Focus. He remembered Earth. The nights of hunger, the days of labor. He had always survived, not with power, but with stubbornness, with cleverness. Hours passed. He built a small fire in a cave. Using scraps of wood and the torch, the flames kept the beasts away. The storm howled outside, but inside he felt a spark of strength. Still, he knew the council would be watching. They wanted him to fail, maybe even rigged the trial. As if on cue, the cave shook. A second beast entered, smaller than the first but faster, its jaws snapping. The human grabbed the blade, his body shaking, but this time he did not run. When it lunged, he sidestepped. Driving the blade into its side, the creature screamed. Thrashing, his arms ached, but he held on. Twisting until it collapsed, his chest heaved. His arms covered in blood, its and his own, but he was alive. He stared at the fallen beast, whispering, I can fight. I can win. Outside, lightning split the sky, and on the station above, the princess watched through a holographic screen, her eyes wide, her lips trembling into a smile. He will survive, she whispered, her voice full of certainty. As dawn touched Korath, the human emerged from the cave, bloodied, exhausted, but still walking. The storm quieted for the first time, the land glowing faintly under pale light. He had not only survived, he had endured, he had fought. He had proven more than the council ever expected, and deep inside he knew this was only the beginning. Because survival was one thing, but facing the galaxy's judgment, that would be far harder. The bond of choice. The shuttle returned to the station carrying the human, his body torn with cuts, his clothes stained with blood, yet his eyes alive with something the aliens did not expect. Unyielding fire. The hangar was silent as he stepped down, limping but standing tall. Aliens from every house stared at him, their whispers filling the air. He survived. A human survived Korath. The council elders sat high above, their faces hard, refusing to show surprise. But even they could not deny what they had seen through the trial screens. The alien princess moved forward, her silver skin glowing under the lights, her eyes locked on him with something fierce, almost tender. She raised her voice, her words carrying across the hall. He is proven, he is worthy, the crowd gasped. Some in awe, others in anger. Warriors snarled. No human is worthy, one shouted. This is trickery, an insult to our blood. The human's chest tightened. He did not want this attention. He wanted to vanish back into the shadows of work. Yet he also felt something inside, a spark of pride. The princess turned to him, her gaze piercing. You have a choice now. You walk away, or you stand with me. His heart pounded. He whispered, I didn't ask for this. I just wanted a quiet life. She stepped closer, her voice low but sharp. Fate does not ask, it takes. You showed honor when no one else would. You showed courage when all expected you to die. Do not deny what you are. The council leader rose, his voice booming. Enough. This ends now. We will not let human blood stain our throne. The tension in the hall turned sharp as blades. Alien warriors stepped forward, their weapons glowing. The human's breath caught, fear gripping him again, but the princess did not move. She spread her arms wide before him, her voice rising like a storm. You call it stain. I call it strength. The hall erupted into chaos, voices clashing, some demanding his death, others stunned into silence. Then, without warning, one of the rival suitors stepped forward, his body massive, armor shining, his eyes burning with hate. He is nothing, the suitor growled. I challenge him here now. The human froze, his hands trembling. He had no weapon, no strength left after Korath. He could barely stand. But the princess's hand touched his shoulder. Steady and calm, her whisper reached his ear. You do not need to fight as they do, fight as you are, the suitor roared, rushing forward, his blade swinging. The human barely rolled aside, the strike smashing the floor where he stood, sparks flying. The crowd shouted. The council watched silently. The human's lungs burned. He staggered, his mind raced. I can't match his strength. I'll die if I try. But then he remembered Korath, the storm, the beasts, how he survived not with power, but with cleverness. As the suitor charged again, the human grabbed a broken metal pole from the ground, his body weak but his mind sharp. When the alien swung, the human ducked low, using the suitor's own momentum against him. Slamming the pole into his legs, the giant stumbled, his blade crashing down far from target. The crowd gasped. The human pressed on, striking not with strength but with speed, hitting weak spots in armor, using balance and timing. The suitor roared in frustration, his fury blinding him. He swung wildly, missing again and again, until the human finally drove the pole into a crack in the suitor's chest plate. Forcing him down, the hall went silent, the suitor lying on the floor, defeated by a human who should not have lasted even a breath. The human stood trembling, sweat and blood dripping, his voice hoarse. I don't want your throne, I don't want your wars, but I will not be treated as nothing. His words cut deeper than any blade. The hall shook with whispers. The council leader's eyes narrowed, but even he could not deny what had just happened. The princess stepped beside the human, her hand gripping his firmly, raising it high, her voice fierce. He is my choice, and no tradition, no fear. No rival will break it. The hall erupted again, half with rage, half with stunned awe. The human realized then that his life had changed forever. He was no longer invisible, no longer just a worker. He was a symbol, a spark that could ignite rebellion or unity. And deep inside, he felt the weight of that bond. Her choice, his choice, the bond that could either save them both or doom entire worlds. The choice that shook the stars. The council chamber had never been so loud. Warriors shouted, elders argued, common citizens pressed against the viewing walls, everyone demanding a verdict. In the center stood the human, battered, exhausted, yet unbroken. Beside him, the alien princess stood tall, her hand still locked around his, her eyes blazing like fire. He has proven himself, she declared, her voice echoing. No trial can deny it. No rival can undo it. The council leader slammed his staff against the floor, sparks of energy flashing. You disgrace us, you endanger us, the bond is forbidden. Our traditions are not toys for a human experiment. The human wanted to speak, to step back, to end this madness. But before he could, the rival suitors rose, their fury boiling over. Then let us end it here. One roared, drawing his blade. The human dies now. The hall erupted, guards rushed forward, weapons clashed, chaos spread like fire in dry grass. The human was shoved aside, nearly falling, but he caught himself, his breath sharp, his heart pounding. The princess drew her own weapon, a blade shimmering with strange light, standing in front of him like a shield, her voice cutting through the chaos. You will not touch him. Her defiance only enraged the suitors further. 3 of them advanced, towering over her, weapons raised. The human's mind screamed, run, but his heart refused. He grabbed a fallen guard's staff, stepping beside her, his voice shaking but strong. If I die fighting. Their enemies charged, blades flashing, the hall filled with sparks and screams. The humans swung desperately, every strike weaker than theirs, but fueled by determination, the suitors mocked him. "Weak human," they snarled. But each time they struck, he found a way to dodge, to redirect, to use their rage against them. Still, he knew he could not last. His arms burned, his body begged to collapse. Then something unexpected happened. Aliens from the crowd began shouting, not in anger, but in support. "The human fights with honor." One voice cried, another echoed. "He bleeds but does not yield." The tide shifted, whispers of respect rippled through the chamber. Some guards hesitated, some even lowered their weapons. The suitors saw it too. Their anger twisted into desperation. If they failed to kill him, tradition itself might crumble. The largest suitor lunged one final time, his blade arcing down, aiming for the human's chest. Time slowed. The human raised his staff. Too slow. Too weak. He thought it was the end, but the princess blocked the strike, her blade shattering under the impact, shards flying, the force knocking her down. The human's chest froze, fear gripping him as he saw her fall, blood on her lips. Rage exploded inside him, a fire brighter than fear. He roared and drove the staff forward with all his strength. Striking the suitor's throat, the giant stumbled, choking, collapsing. The hall went silent. The other suitors hesitated, and in that silence the human stood, chest heaving, eyes burning, his voice raw. "Enough!" he shouted. "I am not your toy. I am not your insult. I am human, and I will not bow to your fear." His words cut through the chamber like lightning. The princess rose slowly, leaning on him for support, her voice soft but strong. "He speaks truth. Your fear is not of weakness. Your fear is of change." The council leader trembled with fury, but even he saw the truth in the crowd. Many no longer shouted for the human's death. Many looked at him with respect, even awe. The leader finally lowered his staff, his voice bitter. "So be it. The bond stands." The hall gasped. Centuries of law shattered in a single breath. The princess gripped the human's hand tighter, her eyes shining. "You chose to stand when all told you to fall. Now the galaxy will remember." The human looked around, still breathless, still bleeding, and realized the weight of it all. He had not just survived. He had changed something greater than himself. A quiet worker who only opened a door had shaken the stars, and as he stood beside her, hand in hand, he knew this was not the end. This was only the beginning of a story that would echo across galaxies.